Well, things are about to get very exciting in the crypto market, and don't mess this up. Do not mess this up right now, or you will be kicking yourself forever. Now, this is not a guarantee. This is not financial advice, but people need to understand that this next leg that we've been building for, it's finally all coming together. All right. I talked about earlier in my ADA video what's going on with BTC and the direction that we're making. I mean, we're having a BTC break right now, which is huge. We're following this Wyckoff accumulation model I've talked about time and time again, and I won't get into that again in this video. But what you need to understand is that assets have been building foundational strength. We've basically been searching for that point where, again, demand meets supply. And we are now at this point where we've been sitting at a dead still moment for supply and demand. Okay, they have met. That's why you're seeing floors set in. That's why I've said the bottom is in when it comes to assets. And we know what follows here. As BTC starts to take off and set the direction, assets begin to follow. SHIB begins to follow. And the thing is there comes a point where it is following to a point. This is going to sound weird. There comes a point where we are following what the overall market is doing, and then the outside excitement picks up. People start FOMOing in. People start realizing, hey, the overall market direction has changed. Momentum has changed. Sentiment has changed. And we are now at this point where things are about to take off. Now, I said in my Patreon, if you guys aren't in my Patreon or haven't checked it out yet, guys, links in the description below. We talk about this stuff all the time. You have direct access to me, what's in my portfolio, when I'm buying, things like that. And what I was talking about is it looks like in the next 30 days, we are making our next leg. We are making our next move to the upside. Now, I want to remind people, if we do what we did on the last leg, it looks like SHIB's next move is, again, trying to breach this 4024 range. All right, we're back up into the 402s, okay? And it's possible that this next leg, at least if we follow the same timeline from that point, it wouldn't be until October where we make our massive shot to the upside. But this can happen sooner. The thing is assets get very unpredictable when outside money starts flowing in. You don't know what they're going to hit. You don't know how fast they're going to hit. For example, I want to remind people, when we look back here at what happened in March, first of all, nobody knew that capital was going to hit in the way that it did. And frankly, when we look at what SHIB was doing at that time, it didn't look like SHIB was doing much of anything. And then it had some of the highest inflows in the market. So when we look at what has changed for SHIB from that point to now, there is less supply available. There is more wallets than there were back there. And the optics are still remaining high. Again, going back to the metrics like we talked about yesterday, SHIB adoption rate is higher than the prior 30 days, which is huge. It means that we have an overall shift in the optimism surrounding Shiba Inu. So what do we think is going to happen? Do we think that trend is going to change when all the fundamentals are showing the same thing? Or do we think it's going to be an exacerbated, blown out version of this? That's what I'm leaning on. I believe this is going to be a big leg for SHIB. Now, again, maybe this is, getting us up to the ranges like we talked about back here. Maybe it's up, to about 406. Maybe it's an all-time high surge. When SHIB does breach its all-time high and we enter price discovery, things are going to get really wild. People are going to have no idea what to do. And I want to remind people how fast Shiba Inu moves up in those ranges. All right. There is not much liquidity up there. There are people that still won't be selling there, which again, that gets us to this point of a supply shock. All right. As always, again, this is not a guarantee. This is not financial advice. But the thing I want to remind people of is don't mess this up right now. There are few opportunities in crypto to be in assets early. There are few opportunities to be in assets that can explode in the way that SHIB can without having downside risks. Now, I'm not saying that SHIB, can't move to the downside. It's 100% possible. But when you look at something that's now had almost 4 years in the market, it'll actually be 4 years in just a couple of days here, and made it through a bear market cycle and has been resilient since then, that gives you a lot of confidence for what SHIB can do in the future. So I appreciate you guys as always. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.